Hockenheim Race 8. 21 cars on the grid at the moment of the race start. I have qualified in 11th position. Way in the back, a little bit concerned about being in this huge pack of drivers. So, yeah, these things aren't going to, like, from this realm, if I'm focusing on safety rating, there's a lot of things to consider as we go into the first turn. So let's see how the race starts off. Pretty good. In the upper right, you can see uh, one of the guys I raced against last race. Um, Brandon, I think, is his name. Some drivers off the track, but in general, a pretty clean start. No real big accidents here. I'm still cruising along in 11th position on cold tires, as is everybody else. Just trying to make sure everything goes as smooth as possible through this first lap. I've fallen down to 12th position, mainly because the inside line there is on Jorge. I'm going to let him take that. Not too worried about it. And now I find myself still in 12th position as the huge pack makes its way through. 2 in front of me is Bradley, not Brandon. Bradley was in my previous race as well, and very fast driver. You saw that. Okay, one driver off the road right there as we pass him. He falls down the pack, putting me back in 11th position. Usually these opening laps, another driver goes off right there. You see him, Ricky Peck. I've seen him a number of times racing. He's off the road as well, putting me into 10th position. Now I'm in the top 10 coming into the first lap. And again, these first laps typically, I like to, I'll go ahead and lose places if I have to. But I'm really focused on just making it through the first lap. Usually the people who are going, I missed my turn there just a little bit, but the people who are going to have problems and going to crash are going to do it usually in the first or second lap. Jorge here goes to the inside, tries to get that move done. He swings a bit wide. Jorge's a pretty aggressive driver, like trying to get his moves done. He's nothing crazy. But yeah, I'm going to go down the inside here on the straightaway into the hairpin to try to make this work. Obviously my favorite place to try to make turns work. I brake very well. Jorge takes it too fast. I go off. And I'm going to back that up just a second, not for the sake of watching what I did, but I want you to see what happens back here. Collision right there causes a big pileup. Another collision takes out 3 more drivers. Excellent. As far as I'm concerned, excellent. Less pressure on my rear. I am now in 8th position with Renato right behind me and Jorge behind him, even though Jorge went wide in that hairpin turn. I get a good launch out of here, opening up half a second gap. You see William drop down the pile as he hits the wall there. Common for people to swing wide there and lose control when they straddle that curb with both tires. I'm now in 7th spot. And right in front of me is Bradley from the last race. I wish I had recognized that. He had been involved in the last race because as the race progresses, he and I have a lot of chatter back and forth along with another driver. So I think I've made some friends this race. Great exit out of turn 1. Opening up the distance to Renato behind me to 2 seconds at this point. Jorge passes Renato, now behind me by 2.1 seconds. I'm just hoping to catch this pack ahead of me and not worry too much about what's behind me at the moment. Oof. So Alberto collides with Bradley there, slowing both of them. Now I'm 0.2 seconds behind Alberto, thinking, okay, it's just a matter of time till he makes another mistake and I'm able to capitalize on it, or maybe I can get a leap on him through this straightaway or maybe down the main straight. There it is. That was just talking about straddling that and causing a problem for yourself. That's exactly what he just did. So as a result, I am now in 6th place and behind Bradley, who's pretty quick. It should be said, my last lap was a 1:41.19, which is better than I think all the laps I did in the previous race, and better. I only getting better. I just set a 1:40.8, so already making improvements. So far, 0 incident points. Will that hold? We'll see. Bradley is opening the gap to me just a little bit. I'm trying to keep in close to him, but he's a 1.5 seconds ahead of me now, with Jorge 2.5 seconds behind me. You can see Calum in front of Bradley blinking a little bit. He's having some network issues, clearly. It's a pretty good exit from that turn for me. Drops Jorge back another couple tenths. Excellent job hitting that corner. Drop it down to 2nd gear here. Take this corner tight, nearly clipping the curb, which allows you to speed up right through here. Take foot off the gas there just to clear it just a little bit. That's the curb you don't want to launch over. Still a 1.5 seconds behind Bradley. In fact, he's even opened it up a 1/10 second. This is a trickier section. Hi, F1. Clubhouse High. This is a trickier section than you think. Those 2 turns right there really require some maneuvering. And like I said in the last race, I'm getting better at it. Excellent job taking that corner. Brings me 1.4 seconds on to Bradley. Renato behind me now has at 3.6 seconds. So I don't know what happened to the other driver, but it's clear he is no longer in the race because he is at least 3 or 4 behind Renato at this point. Boy, it looks so slow from this view, but then you see it here and you realize just how fast it actually is. Could have took that a little tighter. Would have gained a 1/10 second there. 2nd gear. Bradley goes wide here, so now I'm right on him. And I'm thinking, okay, here's my chance. I'm going to get to overtake Bradley. But I have to do it cleanly. I really don't want to cause a problem for him, and he doesn't want to cause a problem for me. In 8th place back there is Owen Stanton, and he's going to come into play in just a little bit. Bradley handles that much better than I did. I was 0.2 seconds behind him, now I'm 0.6. Excellent job taking that curve by myself, if I do say so myself. But Bradley's still 0.7. One nice thing about a faster driver like this is following his lines and seeing what he's doing helps me increase my pace as well. I've set a 1:40.57, but my fastest lap so far is a 1:40.2. So really wondering if maybe I can break the 1:40 and hit a 1:39. I have at least twice before gotten into the 1:39s. Again, get a good start out of there. I'm 0.5 behind him. Really pressuring Bradley at this point. I'm going to skip forward to the next lap. But Renato has gone off slightly, and Owen behind him is catching Renato. In fact, let's skip back to these two here as they battle, because I'm going to just stay behind Bradley closely for a little bit and eventually lose out a little pace to him. But I want you to see what happens between these two. Owen is in the dinosaur skeleton livery there, and he is definitely pressuring Renato at this point. Half a second behind him. Down the main straight. Not the best passing opportunity here. Best passing opportunity for these guys is either here, and it looks like Owen jinks to the right, trying to get in Renato's head, letting him know he's there, that he's thinking about it. But if he can launch down the straight on him like this, and he can, and he's 0.2 seconds behind him, this is where he can get the pass done. Sure enough, takes the inside line. He's able to get that pass really cleanly done. And not only does Renato lose out to him, it looks like he might lose out to L. Jones there, which he does. So he loses 2 places over that. Meanwhile, we're going to skip forward back to my race with Bradley. And you can see that I'm losing some distance to Bradley. I'm 1.1 seconds behind him. But I look and I see my timing at this point. 4.2 seconds back to Owen. No problem. We are on lap 7. These laps all go fairly smoothly. So I'm going to skip forward several laps. Entering lap 8. I'm 1.4 seconds behind Bradley. But Owen's already carved out 0.5 seconds behind me. Now Owen's 2.8 seconds behind me, and I'm falling off of Bradley at lap 9. In lap 10, Owen is 1.9 seconds behind me. So if you aren't catching the hint now, Owen is faster than I am and is slowly reeling me in with just really great driving. And I see it, and I'm hoping to just keep ahead of him. I open it up a little bit there, 2.1 seconds. And he's getting pressure right behind him from Corey. I'm going to skip forward a lap. Lap 11. 2.5 seconds back to Corey behind me. Owen has fallen off behind Corey. And I'm going to go back to them because my position is going to stay relatively the same here as we watch these two. I'm going to fast forward just a bit so you see what happens here. Lap 11. There are, once we finish this, 4 laps remaining. You can see Owen gets a great run on Corey down there. Just takes the position back. And I'm going to back that up just a second, because I want you to see this as well. As we come into this turn, I take the inside line there, snake the position from Victor, who is, quite frankly, blue flag at this point. He cleanly gave that position back to me. But he swung wide so I could take that inside line there. But Owen is now behind me by 2.3 seconds. But I'm hoping because he has to pass through Victor, that he has a little bit of traffic in his way. It might slow him down a little bit. Unfortunately, Victor's a super polite driver and lets Owen by with no problems. Corey has to go into the pits for damage. Here we go. Owen catching up to Victor. Victor pulls off to the right, letting... Oh, I thought he let Owen through right there. He takes it to the right, but Owen goes to the inside and takes it. But clearly, Victor didn't really spend a lot of time holding Owen up at that point. So here we are, heading down the straight. I have 2.5 seconds on Owen. And he is going to slowly start reeling me in. So I'm going to skip forward a lap. We are on lap 13. Owen is 1.1 seconds behind me. Let's take a look from his view, what he's looking at. That's me right in front of Owen. My tires are going at this point too. We have 13, 14, and 15 to go. You can feel that the tires are scrubbed about halfway through this lap. And for sure, tire management's an issue for me here. I lose a bunch of time to Owen right there. He's wheeled me into less than a second now. And as I watch his lines from his perspective, he is basically doing the same lines I do there. That is the curb you definitely don't want to mount, otherwise you're going to find yourself in the wall. It's actually super educational to go back and watch another driver who's faster than you drive these turns and see how he's doing it. He has set a fastest lap of a 1:39.8 at this point. My fast is a 1:40.1. Rather, his last lap time was a 1:39.8. So he is definitely driving faster than I am. And I recognize, all right, he's on me. And I had actually radioed him last lap and said, hey, I see you back there, and I see you catching up to me. When you get up to me, don't worry about it. I'm going to give you plenty of room. In front of me is Bradley. We're going to go past the blue flag here. But in front of me is Bradley, who is also in the mix. I thought I was going to catch him earlier, wasn't able to, and now I'm about half a second behind Bradley. See how he goes a little bit deeper on that turn to get the straightaway done. We are on lap 14, so this is the penultimate lap. And I actually tell him, you know what? Owen, I see you behind me. I'm going to let you pass. Take it on this straightaway here. I thought that was where I told him to take it. I do tell him at a point, go ahead and take the position. I think it's actually on the final straight coming up here. And my point was, I even told him I'm here for safety rating. He said, me too, you know, don't worry about it if you got it. And I said, you have more pace than I do. Go ahead and pass. I tell him to go ahead and take it. Seems like he's struggling to catch up to do it, though. I am currently in 6th position with Owen in 7th. I'm happy to give up 6th position. This is where I think who knows? I can't remember. But at some point I tell Owen, go ahead and pass me. I'd rather do this safely than cause a problem. And this is the final lap of the race, and there's no sense in either of us getting in each other's way or causing any damage to each other. At this point, I have 0 incident points, so I'm happy just to maintain those. This is where I tell him, go ahead and take me on the right. And I slowed down just slightly, knowing that, by the way, the next drivers are so far behind us at this point, it's not a concern. And so, I give that position to Owen. Don't straddle that line. And, yeah. You can see me here behind Owen. And he's already outdistancing me, like 1.5 seconds already. Of course, I'm not pushing super hard at this point, too. This is the final lap. These are the final turns. There's no point in just pushing at this point because I absolutely do not want to send the car out of control. And that's it. I'm going to finish the race in 7th position. And I think I made 2 friends. Owen and Bradley and I talked for a little bit after the fact. And so pretty cool. So let's see what that did to my ratings, because again, I was here after safety rating, and I get 0 incident points, having cleanly made my way through the pack, started in 11th and finished in 7th. So let's see what those results look like for me. I gained 2 full points of safety rating, bringing me up to 3.64, which regrettably was where I was kind of right as Hockenheim started. And my I rating has gone up 37 points into 1337. Again, not focusing on that right now. That is going to be my my goal for next season. But you can see there's only 7 splits here. Normally there's like 10 splits or so. So people are off doing other things on this Sunday. I'm in near bottom split at this point, which is purely based on this number. And actually I'll do great until I go up a split where it gets a little worse. So anyway, not a bad showing. Not a bad showing at all. Really happy with the way that went, and really happy in particular with the 0 incident points. Other folks were there with the same mission, so that all works out great. Yeah, so again, you can see where you can subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. You can see the playlist I have there for more Hockenheim action. See all the pain I've gone through this period, and some of the triumphs. So again, my journey in sim racing continues to progress forward, and we'll see how things go.